Well, I'm your host, Rich Burkett. Welcome back to the Free Skeptic channel. This video is about consciousness. One synonymous, one-word definition of conscious is awake. Another is aware. Other concepts of consciousness include panpsychism, where consciousness exists everywhere or omnipresently, and spiritualism, where consciousness could exist outside living bodies. Panpsychists and spiritualists have also included eternity or omnitemporality, before life and after death. Is conscious include living biological organisms, including humans, animals, plants, and microorganisms. Panpsychists assert everything is conscious, including dead bodies, solids, rocks, crystals, ice, liquids, air, and empty space. When is a person or animal not awake, not aware, and or not conscious? During or after sleep, death, anesthesia, carbon monoxide, inert gases, and other inhaled gases, hypoxia and suffocation, blood loss, drug overdose, severe thirst or hunger, head trauma, coma, and brain death. I include brain death because sometimes a person can be brain dead and still be breathing, and their heart can still be beating. Usually they're hooked up to respirators and intravenous tubes. And there are circumstances, usually when they disconnect the respirator, the person will die, but not always. Sometimes they'll continue living on with their continue breathing, and their heart will continue to beat. And in most of these circumstances, if they continue on, the person will die, but not all of them. During sleep, a person can be awakened by loud sounds, bright light, pain, heat, cold, motion caused by nudging and shaking or earthquakes. Some persons talk, walk, eat and food and or drink while asleep. When awakened, they often have no memory of doing it, as they have amnesia. What things are conscious that are not biological living organisms? Computers, cell phones, robots, and similar electronic devices that have cameras, microphones, facial recognition, motion detectors, air quality detectors, compasses, GPS, artificial intelligence, and or other technologies that mimic consciousness. One way these devices lose consciousness is by loss of power and energy. These devices and living organisms are all dynamic and depend on power and energy to remain conscious and aware. Electronic devices depend on electric outlets, batteries, solar electric, and or other electric power generating sources to continue to function. Without power sources, they lose awareness. Plants use photosynthesis to convert sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, and nutrients to power their life, growth, awareness, and consciousness. Without them, plants die. One exception would be fungus and mushrooms. They're chemosynthetic plants. Animals use chemosynthesis to convert oxygen, water, food, and other nutrients to power their life, growth, awareness, and consciousness. Without them, animals would die. While most animals directly or indirectly rely on plants' photosynthesis for food and chemosynthetic energy, and when I say indirectly, I mean animals can eat other animals that are herbivores. Ultimately, it comes down to eating plants. Microorganisms near deep ocean hydrothermal vents rely on sulfur compounds and other vent source nutrients for their chemosynthetic energy. Animals' nervous systems use electrochemicals to transmit signals to and from the brain, their nervous system, and other bodily parts. Many panpsychists assert that ambient light, heat, vibration, magnetism, electric voltage potentials, chemicals, and other ambient energy sources could power external consciousness. Many spiritualists don't believe post-death spirits and souls require energy and power to continue to exist. Some spiritualists believe post-death spirits and souls aren't conscious, and some do. Most spiritualists believe post-death spirits and souls are either reincarnated, go to heaven, hell, or purgatory, or remain near where their body dies. Spiritualists also believe spirits and souls can only leave their body near or after death and not before. And when I say near death, is that you've heard of people having near-death experiences where they claim they've left their body and can observe their body and the surroundings. But they haven't died, so when they come back to normal consciousness, they have these beliefs. Whether they're delusional or actual, that's debatable. The number of conscious living humans has grown from approximately 600 million in 1700 to 1 billion in 1800 to 2.5 billion in 1950 to 8 billion in 2025, that is today. The total number of dead humans has been estimated to be 100 billion. Reincarnation can't supply enough consciousnesses for all living humans, assuming spirits and souls are recycled from dead generations to living generations. How are new human consciousnesses created? Reproductive childbearing. Most women are capable of parenting more than 2 children. Most men are capable of parenting hundreds of children. If women parent more than 2 children on an average, population increases. If women parent less than 2 children on an average, population declines. Human eggs, unfertilized and fertilized, and sperm may have some limited ability to survive, but don't have consciousness that older fetuses and infants possess. Fertilized eggs usually create one fetus. Rarely, one fertilized egg creates multiple identical twin or monozygotic fetuses. Up to 4 identical twins have been documented. Each twin has separate individualized consciousness. Even more rarely, identical twins are conjoined or physically attached. Where they are attached varies and can result in 2 brains. Abby and Brittany Hansel are conjoined identical twins who have 2 separate anatomical parts above the waist and 1 below the waist. They have 2 heads, 2 brains, 2 arms, 2 stomachs, 2 hearts, 4 lungs, of which 2 are joined, 3 kidneys, but only 1 small intestine, 1 large intestine, 1 bladder, 1 set of reproductive organs, and 1 pair of legs. Each can only feel their one side of their shared body. Okay, here are the Hansel twins, as you can see, and here's a diagram of their anatomy. From here down, they also have 1 liver. From here down, they have only one one of each, and then above they got two of each. So I'll let you take a look at that. They're really quite well known. They even had a reality TV show, I believe. Okay. Despite their separate consciousnesses, they're able to coordinate activities including walking, swimming, riding a bicycle, and driving a car. Here's an example of them walking. Here's where they're riding a bicycle. Here's where they're driving a car. They also have, they each have a college degree. One of them got married and got pregnant and gave birth. Now, my question is, who's the mother on the birth certificate? Another example of two consciousness in one body is split brain or Kala-Soll syndrome. Usually when disagreement between the two hemispheres occur, one hemisphere overrides or dominates the other, but not always. There's circumstances where one hand will do something that the other hemisphere doesn't like, and the other hand will try to stop the first hand. Split brain challenges the hypothesis that consciousness is centered in the brainstem and its microtubules. Roger Penrose and others hypothesized brainstem microtubules is where quantum consciousness could exist. Quantum consciousness is an explanation of how consciousness and will overcome causal determinism. That is, cause leads to effect, the effect leads to another cause, and is a chain reaction that's unbreakable. Another example of multiple consciousnesses is in one body is multiple personality or dissociative identity disorder. Some panpsychists use a radio signal analogy of the brain receiving external consciousness. If true, then external consciousness could be detected and shielded. That is, the external consciousness could be blocked by. Now, an example of things that can't be blocked or shielded is gravity. I don't know. They've actually tried experiments of trying to block. If they can block gravity or shield gravity, that could lead to anti-gravitational consequences. Most spiritualists believe spirits remain separate, individualized spirits and don't merge into one collective spirit. Most panpsychists believe that external consciousness is one consciousness, not many. The why or purpose of consciousness is to ensure living organisms survive and reproduce. Without consciousness, most life would die and become extinct. Now, if you believe in evolution, you could say this is a consequence of evolution, a consciousness. But even the very earliest of life forms had to have the ability to survive and were therefore conscious. The preceding arguments and assertions are for physicalist or materialist explanation of consciousness. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe.